Hey ladies, good morning. Of course, it's me, Cynthia Ray here. It's Sunday morning here in Maui. Here's our balcony from our hotel. Anyhow, just wanting to address a few different things, do a little bit of a review of what we've been doing over the past week or so regarding intuitive eating and mindful eating and how that applies to post-cleansing and then the future of your eating for the rest of your life, basically. So, okay, so what I found for myself after cleansing, I've done this, I don't know, at least 7 to 10 times, maybe more like 7 times or so. And every time I would reintroduce food, for some reason, my nose would break out and I get clogged pores, and I would be totally baffled as far as what it actually was that was causing that. And then finally, this time that we did our cleanse, it's just this past time, um, at the beginning of the cleanse, I was kind of taking it easy. I wasn't feeling that great, and also I just cleansed recently, so I was kind of, cleansing modified. I didn't take out dairy, but everything else, I did take it out 100%, took it out mostly, but still had a little bit in my coffee, and I think that's pretty much it. So one day I decided, you know what? My nose is still breaking out, and when I normally cleanse, it doesn't. So let's take out this dairy and see what happens. So of course, lo and behold, I take it out. A few days later, my nose is completely clear, and I'm so excited that I found the solution. So for me, that is mindful and intuitive. So as you can tell, what I did there was I thought back for a moment, thought about, what it was that was causing it, what I had done differently, and made a decision to do it. And now, intuitively, I'm noticing what's happening to my body, that it doesn't feel well or it doesn't like a particular kind of food, or it doesn't feel well when I'm eating it or have eaten it. So now I'm going to stop eating it or eat it very rarely. For example, if I'm really wanting a special dessert or ice cream that to share with my family or out somewhere special, I'm not going to say, no, I can't have it. I'm still going to enjoy it and live my life, but know that there's a possibility that my nose might break out the next day, which I had happen one time, and no big deal, went away and continued with keeping dairy out of my diet. So I'm sure some of you may have reintroduced some foods and may have noticed I don't feel so great, or my body responds with either an allergy response or an intolerance response. So really be aware of those things as you reintroduce food in your diet. So basically, mindful eating, as you guys can already tell, mindful eating is just being super aware and in the present moment of your food. So listening to your body, listening to your hunger signals, eating when you're hungry, checking in with yourself before you eat, finishing when you're satisfied, and not just that, but it's really being in the moment of the food, tasting the food, just kind of being in that moment and noticing how you feel when you're eating it. If you're eating it just to eat it because it's there, and are you eating it because it's super yummy and you don't want to stop? Are you making a choice to continue eating and be very full? Are you not eating enough and wishing you had more? So there's so many things that you might notice. You might notice the taste, the texture of the food, the taste might be different, since after you have cleansed and you're reintroducing it, sometimes we're more sensitive and susceptible to tasting chemicals in food or packaging in food if you're used to eating such whole food during the cleanse. So anyway, just really be aware of what's happening with your body as you reintroduce food, and eliminate those foods or eat them on a very rare occasion. So, of course, you get to make that choice. That's going to be your health for the long term. Being really mindful of what you're eating and making those decisions. I know also, too, if I'm eating something and I make a choice to eat something that's special, or a special treat or something, or alcohol or something sweet, then the next day I'm going to check in with my body and see, oh, how did that go? How did my body respond? Do I feel tired? Do I feel nauseous? Do I feel sluggish? Do I feel energetic? I'm excited about eating that and wishing I had more. So really pay attention and seeing if that particular food was something that is good for you, even if you thought it might not have been great for you before, but you're like, you know what, that wasn't so bad. And then find your threshold for certain types of foods. You're also going to notice with intuitive eating is different than mindful eating, because it's really listening to your body and giving it what it needs. I know, for example, being here on vacation, my husband had eaten something. Oh, we went to a beer tasting, and then we had a dessert together afterwards. And that next morning, he was feeling terrible. He felt nauseous, his body was achy, his digestion was totally off. And naturally, what he was doing is he didn't want any of that food anymore. He was really just wanting to go after some fresh veggies and really whole, clean food. And that's in itself is being intuitive. Intuitive meaning choosing foods intuitively that your body is wanting more of and less of something else to balance yourself out. So being intuitive, just really paying attention to how food sounds to you, intuitively speaking. So as babies, and I think I wrote this in an article, as infants and babies, we're born naturally to be intuitive eaters. We cry when we're hungry, we eat, we stop when we're satisfied, and I don't know if you've ever tried, but trying to give baby more formula or breast milk is pretty much impossible because they're dumb, they'll just cry. So we're intuitive eaters. Children are the same way too. Naturally humans really like sweet because it's a quick source of energy. So a lot of little kids unfortunately eat a lot of sweets, which is their nature, but we can also teach them how to feel really good eating healthy whole foods and using them as a way to prevent illness and disease, which we can do for ourselves as well. So everything that you're learning now is basically going back to your roots as far as what we're naturally born to do. Even animals do it that way, pets or animals in nature, they eat because they need to, because they eat when they're hungry, they stop when they're satisfied. They don't stuff themselves unless they're storing up for winter, which is also part of nature and intuitive. So anyhow, bringing snacks with you too when you go somewhere, just being ready for opportunities where you might not have food. I call it carrying a little gas can with you. So when you go out and travel and there's no gas available, you can grab your snacks that you have in your car or in your purse and have food with you, making sure that you don't get too hungry. So when you're eating intuitively, you want to make sure, like I said, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied, and then move on. I'm going to share a little graphic with you guys about the hunger scale and how that works, and we're going to practice that this week. So it's a scale that goes from 0 to 10, 0 being starving and 10 being extremely full. And we're going to find a happy medium and really focus on being mindful and intuitive about eating when you're hungry at about like a 3 to a 5 on the hunger scale, and then finishing when you're satisfied or a little bit full, anywhere between a 7 or 6 and an 8. So we'll be practicing that this week. And also just paying attention to, again, like I said, how you feel and how your body responds after eating certain food, whether it's really great after eating whole food or kind of neutral. Really focusing on the foods that make you feel great and contribute to your longevity, and also the energy that you can get for your exercise. Your workouts, of course, will be diminished if you're not eating foods that your body is enjoying, but it feels really great when you are. So anyway, so just pay attention. Also, drinking water is super important, as you all know. It's essential to life and essential to our well-being and longevity. So with that, let's see, I have a couple more things to talk about. Let me see where my notes are. Okay, yeah, so we talked about a little preview for next week. Oh yeah, for the Friday challenge that I had, the Flash Friday challenge with doing that workout that I gave you guys the login to, you have until today. I'm going to extend it because I did let some of the group know that to get it in before last night, a reminder, but I want to give everybody an opportunity. So if you have not completed the Flash Friday challenge, if you complete it by the end of the day today, you are eligible to receive your bonus points for your team. And also, we have one of our challenge members who is no longer able to participate, so I'm going to be taking her place in the Mary Fitness Friends group. I'm not going to be their captain. I'm just going to be, counting my points for posts and things that are eligible for points. And then hopefully we can get together a group of live class for mindful eating and do some practice together with how that works. So I set up some dates. I give you some examples of possible dates we're going to be using for that. And so check on that post. I think it was last week I posted it, maybe earlier this week. But anyway, hopefully we can get together a time, and you can also earn points by attending our live class at my house. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, and continue being mindful and intuitive, listening to your body, and continuing to exercise. There's also a whole other level that we're going to focus on as far as mindful and intuitive exercise. There's that also. And just being mindful in life too, being present in the moment. You're not trying to predict the future and causing anxiety, but just living in the moment and enjoying where you are at in the present moment. So anyhow, also, we're doing a little bit of mindful meditation, which is great practice for calming and centering your mind. It's easy to lie in bed at night or in the morning and just have your head spin with ideas and thoughts that just create anxiety for the day. But if you can begin your day with a mindful meditation and just capture your monkey brain, just focusing in on your breathing for a minute or so, and every time your brain kind of goes haywire, centering it back in, and being okay with that. There's no judgment in mindfulness, but just being aware of what you're doing. And the more practice you get on centering your brain again, I've done this for a while now, centering your brain again, you're going to create, it's like exercise, you create a whole new pathway in your brain that's going to make it easier for you to do each day. And then when you're living your life, you'll find yourself relieving stress and anxiety by recentering your brain and being mindful. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.